What's going on? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the Me and the Homies podcast. I'm your host, Tayo. Today I'm joined with the homie Saama. What's good, Saama?
What's up, man?
Saama, I appreciate you, sitting down with me today. I think we have a really good episode. I do have to give the listeners a warning and I guess beg, kind of. A huge amount of my following has been made up of people who I don't anticipate being sports fans. And this is our NBA preview episode. But if you bear with me, we're going to kind of weave it into the topic. So we're still going to discuss a lot of other things. And it should still be interesting, even if you're not a sports fan or NBA fan. So just, bear with this. I guarantee you'll still walk away with some good moments from the episode. Sama, oh my bad, bro. How are you? I skipped right back over there.
I was about to say, like, damn. But yeah, no, it's this is really kind of surreal, just because this is what I was trying to talk to you about earlier. Because, like, to me, you've always been the person who just knows people. Like, you know damn near everybody. That's what it always felt like to me.
I don't know
so,
everybody.
I feel like, have you ever heard of 7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon?
No.
It's like, it's this thing that it was during the 80s, and you could be like, you take Kevin Bacon, right? And you could find somebody.
On. Is Kevin Bacon like a famous person I should know?
He was in Footloose. You ain't watched Footloose?
No, I haven't watched Footloose.
He was
like, why is that? I feel like you really thought like I was going to be like, damn, yes, Footloose is the shit. No, I haven't seen Footloose.
He was in Footloose. He was big during the 80s, right? But they basically it was this thing that you could pick one person and then find a way through 7 people. Like, this guy knows this guy, he knows this guy, he knows this guy, who knows Kevin Bacon.
Oh, and it would always get back to him.
It would always, yeah. I feel like I could pick a random person in either Nashville or Chattanooga and maybe even Memphis and find a way to get back to you. It wouldn't matter.
In like the state of Tennessee.
Yeah, you know a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Like, because especially to me, because I'm an extrovert in the sense that I never shut up, but I'm an introvert in the sense that I really stay to myself. Like, niggas I went to school with at the same time as me don't know me because I was to myself. You feel me? So it's like, the format of this podcast just makes sense with your personality and makes sense with how many people that I feel like you know and how many different people you know. And just because, like, I've been arguing with you consistently since, like, 2012. So just to be able to, like, hear other people argue with you in the same format, but, like, on a podcast is dope. So I'm happy to be here.
That was a very roundabout way of getting to being happy to be here, but I appreciate it. I don't know why it feels surreal. We're in my living room kicking it. But, I mean, I feel you.
Also, because this is the first time I've actually seen you since then, and I'm going to say it on air, congratulations, bro. On the
appreciate it. I always get the engagement kind.
Yeah, man, it's really dope because, with friends and, like, relationships, it can be kind of awkward because, you don't want to have to pick a side, but I don't feel like I have to because, like, Raven and you are a really good, like, fit. So that's cool. Yeah.
Appreciate that. It's definitely all love. And Raven was really well received on her episode of the podcast. I've been hearing a lot of great things.
I'm sure.
I mean,
I still got to listen to it because you just got on Spotify, but we gonna get there.
Yeah, shout out to Spotify. But, I mean, Raven is about to be ridiculous. I mean, I haven't really been around her since the episode has dropped, and I know she's going to be on one, but that's whatever.
When is she not?
Yeah, exactly. What you got us drinking for the drink of the day?
Going back to our we've been arguing since 2012 talk, you team Henny and I'm very much team Crown. So, of course, I had to bring the Crown. We got the Crown and the Sprite. My uncle actually put me onto this because I had been drinking Crown with Coke. And then I went to his house for Christmas one year and I saw his big-ass bottle of Crown. And he was drinking it with 7-Up. And we were not peasants, so we're not going to drink 7-Up. But I got Sprite instead.
You definitely came through with ulterior motives. And you came through with the lack of creativity. So I'm going to be upfront with you now. That'll affect your rating.
Damn.
But, I mean, for Crown and Sprite, which I've had before, it's pretty smooth. But we'll get into that later. We're going to start with the top 5 for the week. For the top 5 this week, this is so you haven't finished the episode yet, but the top 5 for this week is actually it was basically based off a conversation that me and Raven were having that just was super random. But our top 5 for this week is our top 5 actors you would pick to play you in a movie. And I mean, one for sure. Anybody who knows you, I mean,
if you've seen my face, you know what number 1 is.
Yeah. But I'll let you go ahead and go.
Okay, so what my thinking was, you really can't just pick like any actor to play me, and I don't mean that in the sense that I'm like some like super special. I just mean like I'm a dork and kind of a geek. So you gotta the person you get to play me got to be believable in that sense, you know. So let's see. My number 5. What is his name?
Are these? So when you said number 5, is it random or these are in like order?
I actually got these in order.
So 5 is the least, like the last person you would pick. Okay.
Okay. So number 5, Chadwick Boseman. I only have him as number 5 because I feel like he can play anybody.
Any person? Okay,
yeah, you feel me? Like,
all right,
so
fair.
I feel like I would enjoy a movie with Chadwick as the lead, with me being the lead. You feel me? Like, I feel like he would do me justice, even though he doesn't necessarily fit.
Yeah,
he's a good enough actor and he's played enough parts.
Where you're
he would do me justice.
Okay,
so
I'll take that.
He don't look like me though, so. But yeah, so my number 4, Brandon Michael Smith.
Who is that?
He is. Have you ever seen Sunny with a Chance?
No.
It's a show on Disney Channel that it was like you were not a child when it was playing, basically. But he was basically. You ever seen Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide?
No.
Really?
Saama, we were like
on Nickelodeon.
Well, I'm a few years older than you, but I was like a teenager when all this was out. I'm not.
That was on T-Nick.
I'm not. I wasn't watching that shit.
Damn, that's wild.
I was watching the shit that you're not supposed to be watching at that age. Like
that's real.
I'm watching BET.
BET, okay.
Yeah. No, I mean just BET in general. Just like The Basement and like 106 and Park. I don't care about them. I'm not watching that.
For all the real niggas who was watching Sunny with a Chance.
Y'all were the real niggas. That's crazy. That's wild.
The black dude off of Sunny with a Chance. I feel like he could do a pretty good me.
You understand that I'm confident nobody listening to this has watched Sunny with a Chance.
You could Google it, bro.
Is Sunny with a Chance of meatballs?
No, isn't that? That's a different movie. That's still, I think that's like Disney Pixar.
It's like a cartoon.
Yeah. No, this ain't that. This is with Demi Lovato and like, this is Disney Channel star. Yeah, this is, you feel me? Like, this is a little past our time.
Demi Lovato got her star on Disney Channel?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You didn't know that?
No, but that's crazy given her recent...
Bruh, they all do that. Miley Cyrus wasn't on cocaine? Deadass. We gonna do
I don't remember her overdosing. If she did, they covered it up pretty well.
She didn't overdose.
I mean...
But she was on something, bruh. Come on.
But Demi ain't like... Demi's not like little suburban white girl. She's like...
She was then.
Really?
Yeah. If you've ever seen Hannah Montana back when Miley Cyrus was like Disney royalty, you would see a lot of similarities between that and Sunny with a Chance.
But even when you see Miley Cyrus now, I'm still like, it's not like hard for me to imagine her on Disney Channel. I don't really see Demi Lovato in that
she
light.
Was twerking in the Michael Jordan jersey.
She just looked like somebody doing too much,
smoking weed.
She didn't look like she fit in. She looks like Yes Jules looks in life.
Oh Lord,
like somebody who just doesn't fit in. You realize like they're just doing a lot. They're just trying really hard.
Yes, Jules is the definition of doing way too much, for the record. Sorry. Like, I don't know, dog. Yes, Jules is a no. It's a no for me, dog. Anyway, we off topic.
That's crazy. I didn't know about Demi Lovato, and I still don't know who your black guy is from whatever show. But who is next?
Number 3, I have Tyler James Williams.
Everybody hates Chris?
Okay, yeah. Nah. He, I feel like he would probably do. This is the top 3. I feel like with all the 4 and 5 would do an okay job, but I feel like Tyler James Williams might be number 1. Like I struggled with the top 3.
He's not number 1,
bruh. He would do a really good me.
Okay.
Like I related to Chris on Everybody Hates Chris so much. Like every conversation he had with his mama, at some point I had with my mama. Every single
That's
one.
Very tough. Okay. So who do you have at 2?
2 is Donald Glover.
I mean, yeah, he can play anybody.
Yeah, like I said, like But yeah, no. See, the specific type of person, like that's. Come on, bro.
You feel like his niche is right there in mind,
especially because like part of the reason why I loved Childish Gambino so much when he dropped was because that was like in that niche of like I feel like Lupe had kind of moved on from that at that time,
like being a normal person.
Like yeah,
and niggas playing around with swords and shit.
He still is.
Yeah, nah.
For the record, his album wasn't bad. For the record, again.
So I've heard Lupe's album was good.
It was two of his last three, I think, were like not even me as a Lupe stan trying to convince you, like they're actually good music.
I mean, I've heard one of those and I did like it. The most recent one, it's a concept album, right?
Yeah, it's basically like it's like going through slavery. It's basically deconstructing slavery as a concept and the effects of it for a whole album.
That's the best I've heard anybody explain it. I heard him like pretending to be animals and stuff, and like
it goes some places. I'll say that.
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm saying.
It takes you to some weird places, but at the same time, like I feel like it's all cohesive, and he does a very good job of bringing it all together. Anyway, you already know that's my nigga. Lupe, my nigga though.
But see, listening to music growing up, if I'm a fan of you, like I like Lupe. But back in the like,
I feel some bullshit.
No, I'm saying back when you used to cop music. Like, you used to have to go get a CD or really download it.
My first CD ever, by the way.
You had to download it, burn it, listen to it. So, you're committed to that. Like, even if it's bad, you have to hear it out a few times and be like, yeah, I really can't mess with this.
Because I bought it.
The moment Lupe gets to talking about being a cow, I'm going to something else, dog. Like, I'm not finna. And that's how I am with music. Like, I really don't be giving stuff the chance that it should get.
Oh, Lord.
Because, I mean.
It's hard to, though. In 2018, it's hard to.
Because it's so easy for me to go search for something else.
No, that's the thing. Like, there's so much music that you can't just. If somebody's not coming out the gate swinging, somebody else is. So it's hard to move on. But I've been a Lupe stan since 2008. I can't quit it now.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a lonely album.
It's really not. He's got a lot of fans. Even now, bro. Like even just in our friend group, we got John and Pangay.
Pangay is not no Lupe stan.
He's not a stan, but he's a fan.
You're the only Lupe stan,
bro. Me and John literally went to a Lupe concert together in Nashville.
That doesn't make him a stan.
He knew every song I knew.
You understand that earlier in this very episode, you complimented me on just knowing a ton of people.
Yeah.
You're the Lupe stan that I know. Like, the only one in 2018.
John just isn't as vocal. I see you, John, if you listening. Like,
we out
John.
Here. All right, Okita. If you're a stan, good for you, bro. I don't think you are. Who do you have as your number one?
We already know. Yeah. His name is it Andre Hawkins? Basically, if you've seen Straight Outta Compton, Dr. Dre, Straight Outta Compton.
Anybody who knows him knows that's spot on. That's crazy.
It's so funny because when that movie first dropped, I was like, people were coming up to me in the street, people I'd never met before, and be like, "Oh my God, bro, you look just like Dr. Dre." Off the straight, I was like, "Shut up," fucking Jason ass talk. And every time I walk in the Arc to hoop, he would be like, "Hey, yo, Dre, I got something, bruh."
Corny as shit.
As hell.
I mean, the whole time I was watching, I was like, Saama swear he hard. Like, this nigga is not tough. But I mean, it is crazy. Like, spot on.
Yeah, because I walked in Straight Outta Compton. I sat down right before the movie actually started for real, and then it started. The first scene is Dr. Dre listening to some music, and I was like, yeah, I see it. Okay, I'll shut up. That's me.
The only celebrity somebody's ever said I looked alike, and I was like, oh, wow, I kind of see it, was Cordell Patterson.
Cordell Patterson.
He's not popping at all. He was like the third string quarterback for Ohio State. After everybody got hurt, he got to start in the championship. I think they won the championship.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah. I mean,
was that when the nigga who was converted to wide receiver, and then the other
got hurt, and then somebody else got hurt.
Yeah.
And then Cordell Patterson got to play. And so I was like, oh, I guess. But I mean, that's the only person I've ever even like been like, yeah, I guess, whatever. But for my top five,
okay,
I got and this isn't in any particular order. Brian Tyree Henry, which is Paperboy from
Okay.
Atlanta.
Okay.
I don't really feel like we look alike, but multiple people have been like his temperament on
Bruh.
there. Like when I get annoyed.
Yes. Oh my God, that's so straight. I didn't see it until you said it, but then as soon as you said, "Oh, it's Paperboy," bruh, that's especially when he gets annoyed.
I don't feel like I be tripping like that, but people
Nigga.
say that when I get annoyed, that's
Nigga.
exactly who I act like. And so whatever. And then you on last episode, the conversation was Winston Duke, who's M'Baku.
Yeah.
I could see that. I could let that rock.
I agree. That's an okay one.
And this one, I don't know how I feel about this, but it was somebody I mentioned last week as well. But Kenan Thompson, I think I'll let him play me. I wouldn't be tripping. I mean, it wouldn't. So Kenan Thompson could play me in a movie not about me. Like,
okay, that makes sense.
if I'm like
it's not a biography.
Yeah,
or nothing like that.
If it's about some of my friends or one of my friends or something, and I have a small, place in the story, Kenan can play me.
Okay,
yeah,
I can fuck with that.
And then what sparked this whole conversation was Aretha Franklin apparently wanted Halle Berry to play her. And so
you lying.
I swear that was. I mean, I don't know this. Raven was just telling me, but
if Raven said it, I'm assuming it's true.
Yeah, I mean,
she on her shit.
Yeah, I didn't mean to say that to say that it wasn't. I just know I had never heard that before. It caught me off guard.
I was today years old.
But so if I have one actor who like we don't resemble at all, but they're just a great actor and I know they could pull it off, I would go with Jamie Foxx. Like, okay. I mean, there's no similarities, but he'd
make it work.
Yeah, exactly.
That was me with Chadwick, so I'll forgive it.
And then for some reason, like I don't know why, but I feel like if I ever had a movie about myself, it's got to start with me as an old man telling somebody about something, and then it flashes back. Like I just feel like that's how it would start if I had a hand in it. Mm-hmm. And so the person I would want to play me as an old man is Frankie Faison. Mm-hmm. And
explain to listeners who that is.
Nobody knows him by name. Yeah, I was struggling to figure out his name, but everybody knows him when you see him. He was the landlord in Coming to America.
He was Pops.
Well, he was the deputy commissioner in The Wire too, and then he was Pops on Luke Cage more recently. Mm-hmm. But
I just want everybody to know that Blake was really sitting here struggling.
I was struggling. I was not going to start recording until I figured out what his name was. I was not going to start recording until I figured out his
30
name.
actual minutes, bro.
Hey, I got it though. But yeah, that rounds out my top 5.
I'm okay with your top 5.
Yeah, I mean, I feel I feel like you have it kind of easy because people are just going to accept yours. They might look you up and be like, yeah. I already know with my top 5, people are going to send me who they feel like I should have said. And I mean, it's going to get bad. I tried to ask my friends for help earlier, and I mean, I don't want to talk about
sure that was really
I don't want to talk about the recommendations.
Are we moving on?
Yeah, we're just going to hop right into it. So, I mean, the first topic, if you're talking about NBA right now, you have to start with Jimmy Butler.
Oh, my God.
And so, for the listeners, I mean, I know we have some listeners who aren't familiar and United in Sports, but this is the topic that you would enjoy. Jimmy Butler, he plays for the Minnesota Timberwolves. He's an all-star. He's an all-star player, probably the best player on his team. And he's surrounded with 2 other young stars who are pretty good and just a pretty good overall team. But he came out and voiced that he wanted to trade. And the team was like, we're in a good position. We think we can win with them. We're not going to trade him. So, in the first day, he didn't come to media day. He was giving them time, like, trade me. And they still didn't. So he said, okay. He came into practice. And when he came into practice, he was just like, you bitch ass niggas. I told you to trade me. You didn't want to trade me. So, first he picked the worst players on the roster, paired up with them, and played who was supposed to be the other better players on the team.
The starters, yeah.
The starters, and waxed them. He berated the other 2 stars, the coach, the executives.
He told the GM, "You need me."
He told everybody, "You need me." Now, I will say the one inconsistency is he wanted to be traded. Now he wanted more money apparently, and somewhere in there, and now he's saying that like he wants to play for them.
I watched the ESPN interview he had with Rachel Nichols.
It was all over the place.
Yeah, it a little bit. But to me, he doesn't seem like the type of person who really cares about the money all that much. Like, I feel like if you give Jimmy, like, a max contract or something around that, and you have a team that can kind of compete, that he feels like is going somewhere, he'll be fine.
I feel like he's not the type of player that, like, money is the only thing that matters. But I think it matters when you know that you compete harder than the other two stars
absolutely.
who make more money than you.
Yeah, no, that's I was about to say that's definitely bugging him because, like, to me, whenever you're talking about somebody having a disagreement or somebody, you know, saying something that people didn't like, the first thing I always think of is, did they lie, though? And he said Cat is the most talented player on the team. He said the most athletically gifted player on the team was Wiggins, but he works harder than everybody.
Facts.
And I was about to say, like, that's anybody who watches basketball.
You don't really have an argument
There's
against
really
that.
no argument at all because Wiggins is like this. He's 6'9", he's so athletic, and when you watch him, like, his highlights, they, like, pop off the screen because he's just in a league full of athletes. He is, like, upper tier athleticism, right? And Cat is like this super, super skilled big, like maybe the most skilled offensive big in the league, man. And his skill pops off the page. And then you look at this team when those two are leading the team, and it's like, why aren't y'all winning games? And no, like, because I remember Jimmy gave them a chance last year to, like, kind of, he was working his way into. He wasn't really the number one option for the first, like, 20 games. They went 8-12, and then Jimmy was basically like,
he's like, fuck that.
Basically, like, fuck this. I'm the best player on this team. Get on my back. And they started winning. And then he got hurt, and it gave Wiggins and Cat another chance to, you know, kind of show them, step up a little bit, see if they could win a few more games. And nope, didn't work.
Cat showed me he was soft as Sherman when he let PJ Tucker. Like, punk him. I'm like, why is PJ Tucker, like, stopping you from scoring in the post?
I'll give him a pass if only because it's his first playoff experience. Like, I always, whenever we're talking about, like, like, I feel like the playoffs, when we're talking about players' reputations, is such, like, a weird thing because Cat only played 5 games in the playoffs. We've seen him play 200 regular season games, and I feel like that's more who he is. But in the playoffs, teams have a chance to game plan for you a little more and take advantage of your weaknesses a little more. And he's only, his third year in the league? I feel you. He's still the soft thing. I'm not disagreeing.
You got to show it. I mean, the playoffs to me. Well, the playoffs to me, you show him this is what matters. This is what you're working on during the summer.
Real.
This is what you're playing these 82 games for.
That's real.
You can't get to the time that matters and let somebody 4 or 5 inches shorter than you stop you from laying the ball up. Like, at the end of the day, you got to have some heart. Like, and
and that's honestly, if I'm a Timberwolves fan or I'm working for the Timberwolves, I'm probably not super happy with what Jimmy Butler's doing, but at the same time, I need to see more from Cat and Wiggins, and not in the sense of, like, talent or scoring necessarily. Y'all gotta want it more because your franchise, we're paying you to be the franchise. You feel me? Like, so,
man, you know Jimmy Butler turned up practice because they canceled it the next day. That's when you know he really went. First off, it was all in the media, and, like, I've never seen that.
Bruh.
I've seen videos, like actual videos of Kobe berating.
Yeah, with Nick Young.
I mean, more than once. But Sasha Vujacic,
I know
Nick
what you're
Young.
talking about.
I've seen him go in on multiple players. And I've never seen it, like, pop like this. I've never seen an interview following it. And, I mean, some of that might be Jimmy and his representation letting it happen.
That ass left practice before it was over.
He came late.
Like, he came late and left early to go do an interview.
And cussed them out during
the entire time.
That's the wildest shit. I mean, hey.
My nigga.
I mean, you know.
I fuck with Jimmy Butler harder than I ever have before.
I've never seen anything like that. Like, I'm still kind of in shock about it. And I'm interested to see where it goes. I'm so happy the NBA's back. Like,
bruh, NBA off-season is undefeated. Nobody
NBA.
can tell me. NBA in general, but the off-season, bro, I mean, it's like reality TV.
If you just in general, if you compare the NBA to, like, the other major sports, so you got the NFL and MLB. The NFL, I mean, it just pisses. Yeah. If you're black, you're gonna be irritated every week with something. And then the MLB. I mean, they're chilling. They chill, so we chill. Like, they don't be stressed. Like, they don't be caring at all. It's just hanging out with the boys.
No, dead ass.
I mean, you can't, like, it sounds bad, but you can't be that competitive of like in that sport. They play like 400 games. Do you know like
it's 162? But
that's like 400, bro. 162 games. That's ridiculous.
It really is.
Here I go with that ridiculous shit
plus
again.
like with baseball too, like even we have guys in basketball that we uplift because of their competitiveness. Like MJ, Kobe, or like more recently maybe a Jimmy or Russell Westbrook, guys like that. In baseball, if you do too much shit talking, you're getting a 90-mile-per-hour fastball headed to your head.
Now I do like Yasiel Puig. Like I don't actually like him, but he's entertaining, and that's more than what I can say for baseball normally.
I'll say this about baseball because we're a little off topic, but bruh, if baseball actually tried to market their marketable stars, they'd be in a much better place.
Market Mookie. That's the only person I want to see. Shout out to Mookie.
Yeah, no, shout out Mookie. Tennessee, we out here.
Yeah, other than that, y'all can keep everybody except Mookie
but really,
and Yasiel
like they're
Puig.
so like between, I don't know anything about baseball, right? But I know that Bryce Harper is a thing. I know Mike Trout, and it's like they kind of market, but like Mike Trout could literally walk into any mall in America and 80% of the people aren't going to notice him. And he's the best player in baseball.
I've seen it with Mookie. Like, I mean, I've seen him be places and nobody just
and
even
he's
know.
like one of the best players in the entire league. Like imagine like Giannis walking into a mall and niggas not knowing who he is,
having no clue.
Like,
but I guess it's different because I mean he's a normal sized person.
That's real, but even then, like your players, your stars are what's going to carry your league.
They should be stars.
Yeah, like Steph Curry can't go anywhere on earth and niggas don't know he's Steph Curry.
Yeah, that's true.
Like even guys like even like memeable guy like JaVale McGee can damn near not go anywhere and niggas not know he's
7'3". Yes,
that's true. That's true. And that helps, but at the same time, like we know him not because he's 7'3", but just because we know
of
JaVale
the
McGee.
Entertainment factor.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like Draymond or guys that aren't in that top 5 best players in the league, but we know them, right? And the MLB doesn't do that. But yeah, no, I'm like you said. I'm a huge NBA fan. I'm a huge basketball fan in general, but I love me some NBA. So I'm happy it's back. And Brad, that Jimmy Butler shit, please understand, I was so unproductive at work that day, dog. Like,
I feel like it's the perfect so preseason has been going on, but that's the perfect like prequel to the season.
I love it
because I mean LeBron just moved, so I mean it's just about to be a very entertaining season.
I can't wait.
But yeah, we're gonna end that Jimmy Butler conversation and just go into something a little more, I guess, entertaining.
Boy,
I was on the timeline and I saw a picture. I mean, I see Brittany Renner naked or half naked all the time because it's just how
that's her natural.
Yeah, that's just how she appears. It's her normal attire. But it was on the cover of a book, and I remember. For those of you who are familiar with Brittany Renner, who's an Instagram model, I guess an author as well now, and whatever else she does. No. I know she used to play soccer.
Where nobody knows that.
She did. Like, that was her thing at first.
I believe you, but nobody knows that.
So she was like Soccer Bae. That was like her thing at one point.
Really?
Yeah. She was like I want to say a college athlete.
Really?
Yeah. But apparently she's writing a book, and I mean, I saw the book cover. She's
half naked?
Yeah, half naked.
No, actually full naked. She's just not showing anything.
Right. And so I was like, what is this? And then I forgot that she did announce that earlier when she broke the internet when she was like with Tiana Trump. For those of you who don't know who Tiana Trump is, I'm choosing not to go into that conversation.
Can I?
I mean, you can do whatever you want.
She is a porn star.
That's fine. So, I mean, they made an appearance and everybody assumed like, wait, Brittany's finally just accepting, just taking that next step in her career. And so
I appreciate you. That's such a nice way to say that.
I mean, no, I think everybody saw it and was like, oh, she's really about to take this next step. And then everybody realized, oh, no, this is really just a little promotional stunt so she can announce her book. And I mean, I think I did what everybody else did as soon as they found that out. As soon as they found out where that was going as far as it just being for a book, we just said, okay, this doesn't matter anymore and moved on. Same. So time has passed, and now I guess it's the actual book has been released. And so I saw it on my timeline, and I clicked it, and I mean, thousands of retweets and likes. I'm like, wait, they know this in Instagram. Like, you don't have to like really support this. Y'all really want her book.
I don't think that's real.
I mean, it was a lot. I mean, it was a lot of love in there for her, and I mean that's good for her. You never want to hate on anybody.
Yeah, no, we not hating. I'm just okay. Let me put it like this, and I say this to not. I'm not trying, like you said, I'm not trying to shit on her at all, but. Are we really going to pretend like niggas are really trying to hear a book? Like, if it's maybe, I could see if it's in the vein of like you remember Superhead when Superhead's book came out and it was basically just celebrity gossip? If it's in that vein, I could see people being excited for it.
So I'm pretty sure it's a similar format.
Oh,
really? Yeah, and these weren't, when I said it was love, it wasn't people just, shooting it wasn't just guys shooting their shots. It was like, people were screenshotting where they had purchased it on Amazon.
Really?
So that's what led me to tweet, I can't believe people are really waiting for this. And so I got a lot of feedback and information for people. And one of the most informative conversations I had was the homie Jay Woods, who was featured on the first episode.
Shout out Woods.
He was saying, like, first off, her book is 100 and something pages. Like, it's not big.
Okay.
Then it's $20. Do you know I've paid for some of the greatest pieces of literature in, like, ever? And I've paid like $15 for it. I'm not. Who is paying $20 for Brittany Renner's book?
I'm not even going to lie to you. If Brittany Renner's book was free, I might not even look at it. So
I mean, I read an excerpt, and the excerpt was just detailing her telling the story about how she slept with 3 guys in one day. And I was like, yo, this isn't for me. Like, I'm not dedicating my time to read this. And I was just like, this is trash.
I would agree with that statement.
And it's not on the docket, but I mean, since we're just talking about books that seem to be out of this world, apparently,
oh boy,
on Facebook, and I was just told about this. I haven't looked into it at all. I haven't even read it, but apparently, almost an entire book is on Facebook. Where a girl who was intimate, or I don't even know what you consider it, like I guess a relationship with R. Kelly for several years.
Lord.
She wanted to put out a book, and I'm assuming it got stopped by R. Kelly's people and his team.
Now
and so she just put it out.
I would read.
I mean,
I would absolutely read that.
It seems crazy.
It is crazy, which is why I would read it.
I take that back. It doesn't seem crazy. It seems like just one of those people you're like, what else do they have to do, like, at this point? Why is there still such a following? Like, why are we still shocked?
About R. Kelly?
Yeah, I mean, and apparently it's going crazy on Facebook. So people are really into it. I'm just like, we knew all of this.
I love how we talk about Facebook like it's like a different country or some shit.
I know nothing about what's going on Facebook. You know why I don't know anything about what's going on Facebook? Every time I talk to my mom, she tells me about stuff she's seeing on Facebook, and I just feel like that means I'm not supposed to be there. Like, no, I treat the internet as if every other part of the internet is the kids' table, and then the grown-up table is Facebook. And I just let my mom and them have it. Like,
you know what? That's a really good way to put it, because it's a real family reunion adult table vibe in Facebook. Dog.
Yeah, outside of like birthdays
and like holidays, and weddings,
it's a wrap. I'm not on there.
Yeah, I feel you.
I hope you're not. Now, if you're trying to communicate with me on that Facebook Messenger, I don't even click that.
We're both African, though, so we already know what that is.
I have a lot of African relatives who try me on Facebook, but if they the real, they're gonna hit me up on WhatsApp.
Oh, I was gonna say WhatsApp, but I didn't know. Do niggas know what WhatsApp is outside
of
like
Africans do?
Okay, I was about to say outside of because we know what WhatsApp is, but like
I don't think it's just Africans, but I know for sure every African knows what WhatsApp is.
That's WhatsApp be going crazy.
Definitely, but we're gonna hop back into the NBA stuff, but I'm gonna try and do it quickly. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna do just gonna try and do rapid fire. And I'm going to try not to stop you unless you say something crazy, which I know is going to happen.
Probably.
But rapid fire awards, I'm going to give them to you. You give me who you got. And I'll respond with who I have. Most improved?
Jamal Murray for the Denver Nuggets.
I got Taurean Prince from the Atlanta Hawks.
Oh, that's a good pick. I like him a lot. But I feel like Murray's going to have – I only think because they like winning with the awards, and I feel like Denver's actually going to break through because the last 2 years – the year before last year with Westbrook knocked them out with that 3 he hit. And then last year, if they had won their last game against the Timberwolves, they get into the A seed, and they lose that game. So I think Paul Millsap's healthy. They paid Will Barton. They got their same core together. Jokic is about to have a great season. I feel like Jamal Murray and Gary Harris are probably the most underrated backcourt in the NBA, but they are talented. I love the Nuggets. I don't think they're gonna win or compete or anything, but they're they're going to be fun as hell to watch. And I feel like Murray in that offense with cutting and how well he shoots the ball off the dribble and Jokic finding him for easy looks, he's going to have a great, great year.
They have IT coming off the bench, too.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that, too. Bruh, they're going to be so fun to watch.
I really only picked Taurean Prince because the Hawks are going to be fucking terrible.
And somebody got to take the
Somebody's
shots.
got to shoot.
And he had a great end of his season last year. He was looking like an all-star damn near.
I just like him for his he had an interview, and
I
said
rebound interview?
Yeah, I said rapid fire and wished on the first person.
Hey.
But he was just mad because he had lost in the NCAA tournament, and the reporter was just asking him stupid questions. They were like, how did the other team out-rebound you? He said, well, a rebound is when somebody shoots and they miss, and so, like, when you catch the ball, that's a rebound. And they had more of them than us. So that's how they did that. Next question. And I was like, yeah, I like him. And so I've been watching him ever since then, and he's been hooping. He's been hooping, and, I mean, they're terrible. They're awful.
Probably the worst team in the NBA.
But I did you see Trae Young get that game winner?
The Hawks are actually going to be fun as hell to watch. They're not going to win games.
What's messed up is we're in such an awkward place where we're not close enough to Memphis. Not that they're good or anywhere else, so we have to go watch the Hawks if you want to see an NBA game.
True.
And, I mean, they're just going to be getting blasted every night.
I definitely buying the tickets to see the Thunder in Atlanta.
And Vince Carter had the audacity to go and sign with them for, his, last year.
He didn't want a ring chase.
It's not ring chasing. He's trying to be in Magic City and stuff. That can be the only reason. What other reason why would he do that?
I don't know. I think
it's so that he can live the Atlanta lifestyle. He's just gonna be out here wilding.
The reason he gave, because people are asking why not go try and sign with the Warriors or the Rockets or a team that really has a chance of winning? Because he's, for those who aren't familiar with the NBA, Vince Carter.
He's 50.
He's 41.
Whatever.
But he's 70 in basketball years. He's been around a long time, and he's been one of the league's best players. He's got a gold medal. Vince Carter's had a great, great career, but he doesn't have a ring. And so what his cousin T-Mac did in 2013 was try to sign with the Spurs and get a ring with a team that, was bound for the final.
To compete.
Yeah. So he wasn't going to play that much, but he'll get that ring if they win it. And it didn't work out for T-Mac, and Vince Carter had the opportunity to do that, and he didn't because he said he wanted to try to mentor young players.
I mean, that's stupid. If you've been in the league 20 years and you don't have anything else to achieve but winning a championship, and you go and choose the opposite of a contender, that's retarded.
The literal worst team in the NBA, probably.
But anyway, I'm going to move on since we've been on that too long. Who do you have for sixth man?
I think Lou Williams and Eric Gordon are going to be in contention, but I think the actual winner is going to be Dennis Schroeder.
I mean, I didn't pick – I know why you said that. But I didn't pick anybody based on any actual thought or, real logic. I just went with my feelings. And Melo's going to be sixth man of the year. I'm speaking into existence. Shout out
is
to
he
Melo.
coming off the bench?
Either way, he's probably going to end up on the bench. So sixth man of the year is where I'm going.
PJ Tucker has been hurt this preseason, so he might come off the bench.
Melo said he's willing to do whatever he needs to for this team to win.
I picked Dennis Schroeder if only because he's going to have that offense. When the biggest thing that the Thunder have sucked at for the past 4, even when KD was there, the past 4 or 5 years since they traded Reggie Jackson, was they are terrible, absolutely terrible when Russell Westbrook is not on the floor. So if Dennis Schroeder just comes in and averages a decent efficiency 15 and 7 or 8, he's going to win that award, to me anyways.
That makes sense. Who do you have for rookie of the year?
Luka Doncic.
He's the favorite for
I watched him play before I even knew he was a thing. I watched him. OKC had a game against him when he was 16 years old. And, that team wasn't an all-star team, but Victor Oladipo, Russell Westbrook, Steven Adams, and his cancer, they had all those NBA talent guys there. And Luka Doncic was not dominating, but he was holding his own as a 16-year-old.
Yes.
So he and the team he's on right now, the Mavericks are not a good basketball team.
Why aren't they a good team? They're squatted.
That's what I'm saying. The last few years, they're not a good basketball team, but they're not an easy out. They're gonna play hard, they're gonna play smart, and now they have talent to match. They got Harrison Barnes still. Wesley Matthews. Dirk is old as shit, but still efficient. They got DeAndre Jordan. Dennis Smith Jr. had a great rookie year, and Doncic I love smart basketball players on smart basketball teams.
Yeah.
And Rick Carlisle is one of the best coaches in basketball, and he consistently has that team overplaying what their expectations should be. And Doncic is probably the smartest player in the draft. It's probably between him and Trae Young, but I'd probably give it to Doncic. And I feel like they're going to, even if they don't make the playoffs, I feel like Doncic is going to have a great, great year.
We're doing terrible at rapid fire, but Rick Carlisle is an overrated coach to me.
Really?
Yes. He just gets the benefit of the doubt.
Why?
Because he gets to stay there. He's him, Pop, Spoelstra. Maybe that's it. Everywhere else, like, you are on the hot seat, every couple years. You can't have bad years at most teams. I mean, he's in a situation where if they suck, it's fine.
But they're constantly Rick Carlisle. Okay, even when they were in the playoffs last week, when Rondo was on there, that year that Rondo was on there, and the year before that, they were in the playoffs, right? That team should not have been in the playoffs. Off talent alone, they should not have been in the playoffs. They weren't
that terrible. They weren't that far removed from their championship team.
You have guys on there that are starting who are no longer in the NBA now. 2 years ago.
From age, not from, like, talent.
Yeah, but that age matters. If you can't play at 40, you can't play at 40.
Rick Carlisle has been able to establish a system
and he runs
change
a great system
and not have that pressure. You can do
the pressure matters. I hear you on that.
If you're a pretty good coach in the NBA and you get the chance to do that, you can. But I'm gonna move on because I've been lying to people telling them we were gonna do this fast.
Fuck rapid fire.
Or do this quickly. That's in my rookie of the year.
No, you didn't. Hit me.
I got Harry Giles from the Kings.
That's
I think he's gonna turn up
because he didn't play last year at all, did he?
Yeah, I think he's gonna turn up.
But they got too many bigs.
I mean, he's going to stand apart.
Like, they got a lot of bigs, though.
You're making me do this. So, Bagley can't play the 5. Cauley Stein isn't that skilled.
Ooh, what?
Cauley Stein?
Cauley Stein, every single player who has ever played for John Calipari is more talented than we saw in college. I don't know if how much have you watched of him in the NBA?
A lot. He's not that skilled. In the NBA? He's not that skilled.
Okay, that's fair.
Like, stand away from the rim, pass.
Good though.
He can move his feet. He's athletic. He's a solid center.
Okay,
but so my point was,
he's going to eat up minutes though if he's a solid center.
Out of those big men, Harry Giles is the only one that can play the 4 and the 5 for them and be productive. You don't lose anything at either position.
That's fair. I see you on that one.
And
I like that pick.
And I think he's going to turn up.
Let's go, Duke. We out here.
Defensive player of the year. Who you got?
That's an interesting one because
You've never done that before?
No, I think Rudy Gobert is going to win it again, but like he has weird, like he's healthy until he's not. Like he'll play like 80, 75, 80 games some seasons, then some he's in like the 50 range. And him and probably Embiid are probably you already know who my pick was going to be, but he's hurt.
No, I don't.
You do.
Russ?
No, come on, bro. Same team, though.
Oh, Steven Adams?
No.
Oh, Robertson. Sorry.
Yeah, Andre Robertson was probably going to be. If he had the chance to be healthy coming into the season, I probably would have picked him, if only because he's not at all. He's not going to be healthy until January.
He wasn't going to win it regardless.
He was going to be in the top 3 last year. It's For those of you who don't know, me and Blake are basically on the complete opposite sides of the Andre Robertson fan club.
He's going to be like the opposite of that Drake line. He's going to be top 5, and he is 5. Like he was not going to win that award. Like he was going to be like every other year where they're like, yeah, he's a great defender.
He was a more impactful defender than either Anthony Davis or Joel Embiid last year, who were both top 3.
Moving forward, my defensive player of the year is Kawhi.
Really?
I mean, he's in the East, which is fucking terrible.
That's a great point.
Like, I mean, over half the year, there's like, one good small forward in the NBA? I mean, that whole
he's going to be locking up.
So, Boston. But, I mean.
But, yeah, no, like, him in the East, and they're going to be a really good defensive team because Danny Green, OG Anunoby, Kyle Lowry, Siakam, Ibaka, they got a nice defensive squad, too.
He's going to destroy
Kawhi is going to turn up in Toronto, bro. I don't know where he's going next year, but I think Toronto is a great, great place for him, man. I hope he stays.
So who do you have for MVP?
MVP, I think Kawhi is going to get it. I think this is finally Kawhi's year, because if you look at the Raptors and what they were able to do last year, DeRozan is basically Diet Kawhi. He's Kawhi, but worse at everything. He's a great player. He's a great player.
Diet Kawhi.
But he's just Kawhi, but he's worse at everything. Outside of maybe passing, Kawhi's a worse passer than DeRozan, but everything else goes to Kawhi. And you have the East. The Celtics to me are clearly the best team in the East, but they have 3 All-Stars with Horford, Hayward, and Kyrie, and then Brown and Tatum are both All-Star caliber players. And you look at the Raptors roster, which they won 59 games last year, and they got better objectively better over the offseason with adding Kawhi. And then people don't talk about it, but Danny Green is a great pickup for them, man.
Yeah, 3 and D. I mean, it's a great pickup for any team.
Yeah, no, because he's the perfect role player, because he knows exactly what his role is, and he plays it. So I think the Raptors are going to have a great year. I don't know if they win 60 games, but they're going to be in that 55 to 60 range, I think. And if you look at all around the league, right, at all the other candidates, right, they're either going to be in a position where they're probably not going to win enough games, or they're going to win enough games, but there's another MVP candidate on the roster.
Yeah, I see that. And so I have Kawhi as well. The only other person I was really considering was LeBron, but we don't give LeBron MVPs, so it doesn't matter.
No, that's the thing. Like, do we have time for my hot take about the Lakers?
No, let's not.
Okay.
But we did just watch, speaking of LeBron, we did just watch LeBron's The Shop on HBO. What did you think?
I love the show, for the record. Like, it's really like an inside look into their lives as people. And I wasn't expecting that. Like, I really enjoyed it.
I do too, and I like Mav Carter more than I expected to. I didn't know anything about him, but I still like him a lot, especially because he's
like the mediator for that show.
Well, he's definitely the mediator for that show, but he's that person who doesn't have that. He doesn't have that. You can tell he's not famous.
Okay.
So with famous people, with LeBron and Drake, who was on there, you see that stumble. Mm-hmm. Like that when they speak, there's just that.
Watch what you say.
Yeah, every time they speak. And Maverick Carter's like, I know everybody's business. Talk. Like, say this shit. And he really pulls, I think, the best out of him. Even if it was something they wanted to talk about, I feel like Maverick does a good job making them feel comfortable enough to just go ahead and do it.
Yeah, I really liked the cast they had, because like I said, I'm a big basketball head, and they had Victor Oladipo, Ben Simmons, Mo Bamba, and Ella Deladone. Yeah, who plays in WNBA.
Yeah, I think it's Deladon.
Yeah, Deladon.
Yeah,
is that A not? Okay, my bad, Deladon. But yeah, no, they different perspectives just from career-wise, because they're all in different. Deladon is in a different league completely, and then the other 3 are all in different places in their careers. So it's just interesting. Plus, the one thing I've always respected about LeBron, even since he's gotten the league, is just like he's been himself. And that's the biggest advantage he has over a guy like Kobe or Jordan as far as marketability. Thank you. As far as that goes, just because LeBron is he's the best player in the NBA. He's maybe the best player ever. But it feels like you could just have a conversation with LeBron. Like, it feels, whenever you hear him talk in interviews, whenever you're just listening to him on this show or in any other show he's been on, it just feels like a real-ass person. Like, whatever he's saying is really what he feels at the time. So it's like, I've always respected that about him, because there's a part of, like, a certain amount of, like, media fakeness that he just doesn't show. He's not like Russ with it, where he's, like, rude to the media or whatever. But he's himself. And he's himself, and if you don't like it, that's really on you. And in this format of the show, where it's just like, just everybody just kind of talks about their experiences or whatnot, he works really well with that. I really enjoyed it. I expected to enjoy it, but I enjoyed it even more than I expected to.
Yeah, I liked it, and I really liked the first episode. But I guess I've seen the first episode, and this was the first one you've seen, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was ready for all of that, and I think that was my reaction to the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
Drake is what blew me away.
Oh yeah, no, he was. I didn't expect them to actually talk about all that.
I didn't expect him to be that honest. Like he was just super honest about
everything
and just open.
I respect that.
I get his Kanye gripe more. Like I knew a lot of that, but I didn't know about some of the details and inner workings of it. But for those who didn't see, LeBron's second episode of The Shop just premiered on HBO. It should be available on multiple platforms and for you to illegally stream somewhere by the time you hear this. But it was dope. You should check it out. And Drake kind of details his back and forth with Pusha T and Kanye and everybody else, and it's interesting to see their relationship too. I didn't know Drake and LeBron had that kind of relationship. I didn't know
Drake and Kanye were that cool, honestly.
Well, I mean, I don't think they have been. I think that was the issue. They had tried to be closer, but Drake had seen some shit he didn't like, and he kind of mentions it. He saw some shit he didn't like, and he had distanced himself. And then Kanye was saying, "Hey, I want to be that person for you and put you in position. Mm-hmm. So, let's work." And so Drake, he fed into it, and then he realized that, this shit wasn't making sense, and he was just gonna fall back. But then, he just was kind of blindsided and attacked, and from there, shit just went left. But I think just them sitting down and talking about it is something you never get to see. Like I don't know if we've ever. I don't know if we've ever seen like that in hip hop before, where they sit down and really explain to you what's going on and behind the scenes and why it was so messed up and why people. Because he was definitely, like he said, he was. I think if you follow it, you understand this by now. But he definitely understood what Pusha T was doing. Like you're just trying to, put yourself on in a better light and make yourself more popping. He was more hurt by Kanye. Like I showed you pictures of my son.
Yeah, he didn't even really, which is that was my favorite part of the episode.
That was chess,
bruh.
That was chess. Because he's removing him. He's like, I can kind of diminish you by not even addressing you. Like history is written by the winners. That's
real.
Yeah, that's a lesson I was taught by my history teacher who didn't teach me any actual history. Back in high school. Shout out to Mr. Kantz. But history is written by the winners. And so even though he didn't necessarily win that battle, he's winning in life.
Yeah.
So I can control this narrative. That's fine. I lost.
Okay.
We've moved on though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
I dropped Scorpion.
Life is gonna keep happening. And I think I think he might have, been doing a bit much. Because he was saying like he was listening to all the songs that weren't on the album. He was like saying that Pusha T and Kanye kind of inspired him to add a lot. I don't know what the fuck was on the album then. He said
he said Nonstop.
He said Nonstop went on the album. He said Mob Ties wasn't on the album.
March 14th? No, March 14th.
March 14th was on it. He said what's the Kiki, do you love me?
In My Feelings.
He said In My Feelings wasn't on there, so I don't know what was gonna be on the album.
Because those are my favorite songs.
Like, he was just naming all the best songs. He's like, none of that was on the album.
So shout out Kanye and Pusha for bringing out the best in Drake.
Because that would have been.
I would have dropped the whole album.
That shit would have been terrible.
Those are the only ones I listened to.
Yeah, I don't know what we would have done.
Nah, I really, the one thing that because I was talking to you about it early, like I've, as much as I still enjoy his music, as far as just a person and his interviews and whatnot, I've kind of cooled on Drake. Like, just because, I don't know, it's kind of like a fake, like I see the persona, basically. Like, it's a persona, it's a part he's playing almost. And I'll say this about his part in that whole LeBron, the HBO show. That's the first time I've ever heard an interview from Drake and felt like I was actually hearing Drake. You feel me?
Who are the rappers that you believe? I don't believe none of these niggas.
Like, whenever Jay.
You believe Jay-Z?
Yeah. Not early Jay, but later Jay. 444 Jay?
When he's saying I'm a fuck up and I'm rich, like that's
facts.
All
I believe that.
All the album is about is like I'm a rich black man. I'm a rich black man in America and I cheat on my wife.
Okay, that's real.
That's all the album's about.
But like my thing with Drake is his biggest advantage is he can be kind of all things to all people.
Oh, he's racially ambiguous and
yeah. You feel me? So it's like he does a great job of kind of playing his part in that role, if that makes sense. And I don't say that to mean that he's just out here lying, but it's almost like he's playing a part like, oh, I know people are kind of thinking I'm going to do this, so I'm going to do something different, but it's still on brand. You feel me?
I don't know. I feel like, I think it's a stretch to say this about him, but I feel like Drake is one of those people that people move the goalposts on, because he's one of those people that's kind of transcended hip-hop in the sense that
you right on that.
He's one of the few people who's ever really talked about how he feels about it, and nobody ever really, like, gives him credit as being that person who kind of ushered in a wave of just really being able to talk about how you feel in relationships and stuff like that as a rapper. Well, that's suicide and drugs. That's different. I mean, just actually being sad because of a relationship or being, jealous. I hate that song.
Same.
But I mean, I acknowledge the fact that he did that. And
yeah.
He gets a hard time, but I mean, most of these niggas is fake. Like,
that's real. Not I'll say this. I'm as big a Drake music fan as I am, and as much as I enjoy a lot of his music, because every Drake album, you basically split it down the middle, because there's a bunch of songs I like and a bunch of songs I'm never going to listen to again. So, I still, those songs that I fuck with, though, I really fuck with, right? So, there's a lot of Drake songs that I, know by heart, that I know a lot. There's a lot of his music I fuck with, but it's, it almost, it feels like he's playing a part sometimes almost. And this is the realest I've heard him. And I respect him because I didn't expect him to go into so much detail about it. He's talking about his kid. He's talking about his relationship with his baby mom. He's talking about Kanye. He's talking about Push. He talks about everything. I didn't expect that.
So what he's doing and what he's had to do because of the beef is Drake's basically in the position of somebody who got caught cheating on his girl. And I mean, the best strategy with that every time, people inherently lie just because that's what, you think people is going to be okay. But the best strategy every time is to fall on the sword. Fall on the sword, fall on your truth, be honest, deal with it, and move forward. So that's what he's doing now. He doesn't do media, so that's still super relevant for him media-wise. So as soon as he gets on a big platform, he's like, I'm falling on the sword. This is what happened. This is what did. I'm living in my truth. And then I can move on. You can't really say anything. You can't call me anything. I already told you I am that. You know what I'm saying? Once
Eminem from
once I say what I am, you gonna repeat me? I guess. And I feel like he just did that, but
I liked it though.
I
enjoyed it.
One of the gems on there that is I hope doesn't go undervalued or overlooked was we finally got some type of insight into what the fuck is going on with LeBron's hair. LeBron, for those of you who haven't seen, LeBron detailed that his mom and the barber
they pulled a fast one.
Yeah, they kind of pulled a fast one on him because LeBron, and you see it a lot if you go back and look at pictures and stuff because he's been in the spotlight for so long. He had this fro, but it just was never really full. He just had a bad grade of hair. Let me not say a bad grade, a very thick grade of hair that just seemed kind of unmanageable. And so I guess his mom and the barber conspired against him and permed his hair. And apparently it was bad. He was explaining it sounded terrible. And I just think maybe the chemicals, over the years, it had a harsher effect than he anticipated. And he was honest about that too. They were very honest. He was saying I can't afford no more bad cuts. You push me back or something happened, I gotta go bald. But how do you feel about the hair pieces? Have you seen
Yeah. No. I want to hear your opinion first, because then I'm gonna give mine, because I'm gonna come in with a hot take.
So Twitter is one of the most underappreciated resources in America.
I love you, Black Twitter.
And upon first seeing the hair piece glued onto somebody's head and just seeing the beard was wild too. I was very judgmental, and I'm I don't know why somebody would think this is acceptable. I would be insulted that somebody would walk around me for months, because it just doesn't get like that, years, with a giant piece of hair missing on top of their head, and then come to me with a full head of hair. We have to address that immediately. You have to explain yourself. Well, that was my original thought, at least. And then I saw somebody saying, that's a real, source of insecurity for men as they get older and stuff, and they deserve the right to be able to do that. And I mean, no, I don't really get that you should just shave your head off, but I mean, in our battle against women, I just I'm just gonna support them in light of just the wig movement that's taking off of women right now.
Protective styling, man. I feel it.
Protective styling for a bald head is crazy. Like, what are you protecting against from, like, sun?
I'm protecting my insecurities. I'm protecting my pride.
Would you do that?
I don't know.
If your hair just starts going bad,
to
like,
me,
quick.
like, okay, so
like Trae Young.
We were. Oh Lord, God! Somebody said what? He looks like a lollipop that rolled around the barbershop floor.
Could you imagine having hair issues like that at like 19?
Like, that's what I'm saying.
18, really?
Because my thing is, right. So with me personally, you see, like, I've been babyface for the majority of our friendship, but like now I got a little, you know what I'm saying, a little bitty beard. It's not a real beard yet, but it's getting there.
You don't have a beard, Saama.
It's coming. It's coming, man. Guys.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's
okay. If you say you got a beard, you got a beard.
To the point where if by the time my hair is still right now, like I'm growing it out, and by the time it actually starts to go, I'll probably have something resembling a full beard, or at least, at the very least, the ability to grow a goatee and a mustache.
Right.
So I would never do that because
just shave it all off.
I would just, like, if it gets to the point where my shit is looking like LeBron, I'm shaving it. Like, that's me. But to me, I feel like the beautiful part about living in the world in 2018 is that there are options available to you that would never have been a thing even 20 years ago. So if you have the money and you don't mind people that know you knowing about it, and you just want hair again, go for it. I say go for it.
You know how crazy
I would clown the fuck out of somebody. Like, if Pange came around and he's bald right now, right? And if he came around with the new hairline and I know that shit fake, I'm on his ass.
But this is how you know, and I hate to go, I hope he doesn't mind this, but no, that's how you know, like, hair just really becomes an insecurity for men as they get older. Because I remember when Pange shaved his head, I was like, why are you shaving your head? Because he didn't, like, it wasn't like he had some huge bald spot. He was like, bro, my line is terrible. Yeah. And I was like, no, there's nothing wrong with your line. Because he didn't get chopped like that. He didn't get chopped often. Yeah. So when he finally showed me, I was like, ooh. But I would have never noticed. I promise you I would have never noticed. Because, like, I mean, but it's just something you look at, you just stare at it, and you think about it. You still laughing. I was being serious. I never noticed it. Like, I never. I mean, because, he was kind of going in on himself a little bit. I'm not going to roast him. Shout out to Pange.
Shout out Pange.
But, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like if you're where LeBron's at, where it's bad, I feel like you can do something. If you are bald, and then you go with the full hairpiece, I feel like you're really creating more.
Okay, do you follow like soccer, like football?
Yeah.
Oh, international football. Do you know Wayne Rooney?
For England.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was worse than LeBron.
Yeah.
And then he got the plugs.
Then he just popped up. So, but here's my question about LeBron. So I think it's been confirmed that LeBron got hair plugs, correct?
I mean, I think so. I don't know if it's been confirmed.
I'm pretty sure it's been confirmed.
You can look at his hair and, like, even 2009 and look at it now, and it's a different line. So he did something.
Well, here's what I don't understand. And maybe it's just for being on a certain level of famous where it's just more cameras and more lights on you and everything. But I just can't understand with LeBron money how Safari and Tyga got better lines than him. Or better, you know what I'm saying? Like, how come theirs worked out better than LeBron's?
I want to say it's probably genetics. Like, the same way, like, skin grafts work for some people better than others. And there's no real explanation for it between the person themselves or, the graft itself or just anything like that. It's like some people just respond better to those treatments. So it might be something like that. Because, like, even if you look at Safari now, it's not like you can still see, like, his shit kind of.
His was popping for a minute, and then it just got bad. Yeah, bad again.
Or even Tyga, if it's one of those things where somebody pointed it out and we saw it, but before that, it was like,
I ain't gonna hold you. Tyga shit crispy now, still.
Yeah, no, facts. So, like, his, for whatever reason, maybe genetics, maybe the person they went to, the body just responded better to it. It's something like that. I don't know. There's really no real ass explanation though.
God has really been working on me. No, he has, because I'm not supposed to be kind of LeBron rich, because I'm just would be so I would just be so over the top. Like there's nothing a doctor could tell me about why my hair doesn't look like the Steve Harvey line. Even when Steve Harvey shit was fake, I need my shit to look like that.
Please know, if I have LeBron money, I'm shaving my head and telling everybody who has anything to say about it.
I mean,
fuck you, I'm rich.
As a broke boy, I would just shave my head. I wouldn't
I'm not. It's not even a question. If you can grow a full beard, if you can be out here looking like prime Joe Budden with no hair and the beard full, I keep the hair, dog.
If you can average 28 points, 8 boards, and 8 assists
at 34,
you can have the bald face the baby face and shave the head and be fine.
Bruh, if I had LeBron money, I'm telling everybody to fuck off.
Yeah,
I tell that to people now, and I'm low key I don't have anywhere close to LeBron money.
Yeah, LeBron it's the year, baby. You gotta cut it all off, dog.
Hell no.
We gotta come on.
He already invested. Keep that shit.
That shit is problematic. LeBron, it's time to come on home, baby. Let it go. Also, are you a big fan of the Players Tribune?
The first article I ever read from the Players Tribune was one of my favorite players telling me that he was leaving my team to go play for the Warriors. So, yes, I love it.
I'm actually going to try and start to put Raven on the Players Tribune, because I think that is probably the big, a great, a great just format for people who aren't huge sports fans to kind of get a better understanding of the athletes.
It gives the athletes an opportunity to just say, fuck the media, fuck press releases. This is it. My words. This is exactly what I think, and this is what's going on. So I love shit like that, because the same reason I love that LeBron shit, because it gives you a look into that inner circle, into their mindset kind of when they were doing the things. We hear about the decision, right? But we don't see all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes with it. So I love an opportunity, because that's an opportunity with the internet and the way that everybody's connected that you got to take advantage of. So it's you give these athletes a way to bypass everything else, their teams, their media, and just say, this is me and this is what I think on the situation. I love that shit.
Yeah. And so for anybody who's not familiar, the Players Tribune is a online, I don't know if it's in print, but I know it's an online platform for athletes of various sports to have a direct place to go ahead and put out any message or piece of literature that they want to sit down and compile themselves and just deliver a message direct to the fans without an interview or some other source or some middleman.
Yeah, there's no middleman, straight to the point.
It's nothing diluting the message. And so you see a lot of times when people get traded, they like to go on there and reach out to the cities that they're leaving or that they're coming to. Chandler Parsons just did a letter to Memphis. He's been.
Oh, really? I haven't read that one.
Yeah, he didn't really say nothing, but it's just it's a really good platform. And if you are somebody who's really into sports, it's a cool way to see athletes that you follow and hear directly from them if you're not up on it. And if you don't follow sports, it's just kind of cool to, hear from those athletes and kind of get more familiar with them, because I feel like that's what really takes sports to the next level, when you really know the players or the athletes. You're like, oh, I can identify with this and this person or that and this person. And then once you make that connection, I think that's what really takes sports to the next level.
Yeah, because that's to me, the biggest advantage that a league like the NBA has over every other league. Because, they already have, because of the nature of their play, because one player on a basketball team can make all the difference already, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to care about a guy like LeBron or KD or Steph because their impact on the game is so much bigger. And then the NBA lets them be themselves, right? So if I'm a huge Russell Westbrook stan, I feel like just based off, I can read his Instagram, I can do his Twitter, and his interviews, I know who he is, kind of.
You know his personality.
Yeah, you feel me? So it's or like I don't like the Paul George had a podcast with this, I don't remember his name, but it was like a guy who has a bunch of famous people on his podcast, and he just talked about his whole summer, and he talked about the decision he made and how the Lakers and the Thunder and guys who were trying to recruit him and all that shit he just talked about. And it's like, oh, it gives you another, because I already care about all that stuff because I'm a fan, but it gives you another dimension. And it's like, oh, I feel like when I'm watching these players, I kind of know them now, you know?
Yeah.
So it's dope. I love the Players Tribune, though. I love when players just like, because fuck the middleman, dog. Yeah. Like, that's my mindset. Like, you have the opportunity to just, like, be you and say what you want to. Say it. You feel me?
Especially with certain stories, because Joel Embiid, who's
his Players Tribune article was elite.
Yeah. So Joel Embiid is he's the starting center for the Philadelphia 76ers. And he had an article kind of just talking about his backstory. And it was cool kind of hearing somebody tell you stuff like, when somebody says, I just started playing this sport at this age, this is what I was going through, blah, blah, blah. To hear somebody say that and they just are just talking to you is one thing. Because, on ESPN, they make it outside the lines and add all the extra ass music and make it overly dramatic. And it's just like, bro, this is just this person's experience. Like, just let them talk to me. Like, I don't want to do all this shit and make it some storyline, like, where we're just reaching and doing too much. And so I really enjoy the Players Tribune where they just, they're just straightforward. They, explain it to you, and then you're good to go. Like, you really get to talk to them. And so, I mean, I don't know. I just think it's dope.
I love it, personally.
But shout out to Ray. She just came in. It's perfect timing. She texted me something, and I was like, I really need to talk through it with somebody else.
Oh, boy.
Before I really even respond to this. So I haven't texted her back, so it's funny that she just walked in. But she was like, hey, how are you feeling about this So Def reunion concert in Atlanta? And I read it, and I was just like, what? Why would I go to that? And I mean, I know immediately she just wants to go to see Escape. Like, I know that's.
I ain't mad at her.
We're actually recording. You don't have to yell the Franchise Boys. That's your next person. So Escape and then the Franchise Boys on So Def. Okay. Well, so my immediate thought was Bow Wow, and I was like, him and Jermaine Dupri beefing every week.
That ass?
They be beefing all the time. Like,
I haven't heard anything about that.
Like, I mean, it's too little man syndrome.
No. That was the Breakfast Club interview, right? When Jermaine Dupri was like, Bow Wow ain't never been addicted to nothing. He ain't drink no damn lean type shit.
I don't keep up with this. I just see like they have an issue, and I'm like, oh, whatever, and I just keep scrolling.
That's real.
But I know Bow Wow did turn up on that Rap City the Basement freestyle. That's probably one of his greatest moments. Because he went off. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I don't know if I want to go to that. So I'm thinking like So Def reunion. Who would have to be at the So Def reunion for me to enjoy it? So we got Escape, which I don't mind seeing. I know Raven cares for them more than I do. But we have Escape. You said them Franchise Boys. Do you think they would get a call back for the reunion? They're going to be there? I don't know if that's good business for them. Because, I mean, they're not getting more than $100,000 collectively. And there's, 6 of them? Like, I mean, y'all could have worked for this year.
Okay. I got the Rolling Stone article. So it's Escape. Bow Wow.
Okay.
Jagged Edge.
Oh, I'm tripping.
Bone Crusher. Youngbloods. Franchise.
Whoa, let's slow down.
Okay.
Bone Crusher.
Yeah, bro.
How much do we think these people are getting paid for this?
I don't know, but I need you to understand. I was at one music fest in Atlanta when Bone Crusher came out, and please understand, if Bone Crusher goes to the right venue, that shit is going up.
Well, so they did an Atlanta mix though, right?
Yeah.
So that's different if like.
But
I'm
even
doing
that, bruh, please know. If that is anywhere, even in the South, Brett, just in the South in general, he could come to Chattanooga with that shit and just do that one song.
Okay, let's
over and over again.
I'll pretend with this. Let's just play with it. So Bone Crusher comes out. He does Never Scared. What happens next?
We bring out somebody else.
Okay, that's not a set. That's not a set though.
Just do your one song.
That's
we don't know,
crazy.
bro.
Okay.
We don't know his other songs.
Sorry. So
let's be real. Can you know?
No, I thought y'all did.
I don't.
I thought there was going to be something that I missed out on that I didn't understand.
No.
And that's what I wanted y'all to explain.
I think that's the whole point of the reunion, though, because if we're looking right, because
Escape, Jagged Edge, and Bow Wow got heat.
Jaquan, them franchise boys,
Jaquan was
Anthony Hamilton.
Wait, hold on. Jaquan was sounding so deaf?
I didn't know that either. I'm looking at the article, though, and that's what it says.
Anthony Hamilton, like Charlene Anthony Hamilton?
How many Anthony Hamiltons are there, my nigga?
I mean, he so deaf.
I didn't know he was with them. But, hey, like, bruh, let's be real.
Let me see the article.
I would go to this show. Like, I've been to worse shows.
First off, you disrespectful because you didn't even, like, lead in with the brat.
I'm sorry. Like, I was reading that part where it just shows everybody recruited, but not the title. Because she's in the title with Anthony Hamilton.
It says will feature himself as in Jermaine Dupri.
Also,
Brat, Anthony Hamilton.
I'm not going to lie to you. If you said gun to your head, tell me 3 DeBrat songs. I'm just
Wait, Youngbloods was signed to So Def?
I don't know. I guess so.
Youngbloods is Sean Paul, right?
I don't know.
All these folks weren't signed to So Def.
I guess they must have been. What you mean? Like, he couldn't recruit them if they wasn't signed there. Like, you want to come to come to a reunion show of a label you wasn't with? Come on, bro.
I guarantee you this is just like So Def wasn't. It's just like, Rockefeller and everybody else, where it's not a real label.
That's real.
You're really just the guy that they make the face of a group of people, and you control their business, and everything better be in order.
I'm dead.
Like, you don't really run nothing. You got several bosses. But
several bosses.
Yeah.
I don't know, dog. I feel like if that show is like 2 hours long and you got enough hits between, like, what is that, 8 different artists damn near, that would be a fun show to go to.
So Anthony Hamilton is apparently on So Def.
Yeah, bro. Like, I'd go to that show.
Or was.
I'd go to that show. Like, I would definitely go to that. I'd buy a ticket for that.
I'm really, like, blown away by this. I didn't know a lot of these people.
I'll wear my tall tee and everything, bro.
I didn't know a lot of these people were So Def.
The fresh forces. You feel me?
Rocco was So Def.
Really?
Yeah. That album that had, like, his, like, first few hits, the I'ma Do Me. Well, there's that. Well, Karma was on here, too. Karma was hard. Snakes was hard. Like, that first album he had, that was on So Def.
Really just, like, I don't know. Bow Wow is hilarious to me, so just the opportunity to see him live would be funny to me.
Okay, for me to enjoy this, Jermaine Dupri would have to come out, welcome us, and be like DJing or something, and be like the host MC. All the So Def niggas come out, do hits. Don't come doing no deep cuts. You know what I'm saying? Straight hits, and then an hour-long session of Anthony Hamilton, and I would have a good show.
You want an hour of Anthony Hamilton?
Yes.
After those hits. Not an hour of Anthony Hamilton just in general. Because I fuck with Anthony Hamilton. But, Brad, you want an hour of
I want them to do their hits and get off the stage. And then Anthony Hamilton.
So you want Bone Crusher, and then Bow Wow, and then an hour of Anthony
it should be strategically set up. Like,
okay.
Escape should close the rest of them niggas section. Like, the rest of them, Escape should close that.
Who all was with Escape?
You only know 2 of them.
That's T.I.'s wife.
T.I.'s wife, Tiny, and Candy Barris is on that messy ass show.
Power?
No, Real Housewives.
It wasn't. What is her name?
You do not know anybody else in that group. What do you want to bet that you do not know the other 2 girls? Or is it 3?
I'm broke until.
It's 2 other girls, right?
I'm broke as hell.
You are not broke. Do not stunt. You cannot pull that stunt no more. You're getting that good money. Do not play with me. I'm broke. Boy, you getting a check. A good check.
If anybody asks, I'm broke.
Whatever.
That's my mindset.
All right. Pull it up. I know for a fact you do not know those other 2 girls. That is 3LW.
I'm bullshitting.
But they were on So Def as well.
They were?
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay. Let me not pretend. I didn't know that until I just read it.
I was about to say, shit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited to go to this tour now.
Latasha Scott, Tamika Scott and Keisha Miles. You was right. I'm glad I did.
Yeah, I know you don't know.
I'm glad I didn't bet because I do not know those people.
Well, so the So Def concert is a go. Mainly, I'm going to see Anthony Hamilton.
I mean, that's not a bad play. He's great live.
Now I'm gonna be mad if he just get up there and do Charlene and be done. I need some joints. I need the Hamiltons. I need all that.
He's not the type of person to go do a show on bullshit though.
Yeah,
he's about his showmanship.
Do you have?
I love his voice, by the way.
I mean, yeah, dude is like he's one of those people you can tell can really sing because he doesn't have that voice that's just like that perfect singing voice. He has like a real, just a real voice, and he just knows how to just turn it into an instrument.
He's a master of like him and D'Angelo and Maxwell. Like those are the guys who like their range isn't like super super crazy, but they do so much in the range that they have.
You got Maxwell fucked up,
bruh. When I say range, I mean I'm not talking about the falsetto.
Oh, you mean range as far as like the type of music they do?
Yeah, no, I mean range in the sense that like their actual singing voices, like the notes that they're hitting, right? Because Maxwell and D'Angelo, falsetto-wise, like they're amazing in the range that they have in that sense. But when I say range, I mean like, who's a good singer that just has like crazy?
Yeah,
range?
I'm not gonna argue this with you because I'm not gonna pretend to be technically sound on
like
singing.
I'm not a singer like that. But like those are the guys who were like when I was trying to find like my singing voice, those were the voices that I trusted.
Yeah, I feel that you have Maxwell fucked up. But I don't know enough about actual technical skills to argue this, so I'm gonna leave you be. But hopping back into the NBA for a quick second.
Let's go.
Do you have any like sleeper teams or players? Well, I guess Denver. You kind of described them earlier.
Yeah, I love Denver's roster. You know who else I really fuck with? The Pelicans. I feel like the Pelicans are really gonna like.
Why?
Okay. So I got a whole explanation. So they lost Rondo, they lost Boogie, but when Boogie went down with that injury in January, Anthony Davis lost his damn mind. Like, okay, so basically what they had was like 4 shooters around Anthony Davis, and he was kind of like the fulcrum of that whole offense. So Drew Holiday is not, they like him at the 1, but he's better at the 2. So you have Elfrid Payton, who's not as good as Rajon Rondo in that role, but he has a chance to kind of make it his own, and he's cut his hair. He's apparently been working on his jump shot a little bit. Like, it really doesn't matter if he does or doesn't. As long as he can kind of run the point and he can kind of play defense, that's really all they need of him. Drew Holiday is, you know what you're going to get from Drew. Etuan Moore he was probably one of the most underrated players in all of 2018. Etuan Moore had really, really great. He was a star in his role.
You really be watching basketball. I've never in my life heard somebody like, yeah, Etuan Moore be going in.
Etuan Moore was an absolute, what they needed from that 3 spot in the New Orleans, he's exactly what they needed.
If I'm playing 2K, Etuan Moore is coming right the fuck up out the game. Like, for you to really be complimenting him is blowing my mind.
He shot really well from 3. He defended his position really well. And then you have at the 4, they had Anthony Davis basically at the 5, and because they brought in Mirotic from Chicago.
I don't have a sleeper team. I have a sleeper player. But before I get into that, I just don't really see that for the Pelicans. I think
do they make the playoffs to you?
Nah, maybe at the 8th seed. At best case scenario, they're the 8th seed.
I think the Pelicans might be better than the Lakers.
Well, okay, that's absolutely ridiculous. I think the Pelicans are like many other teams in the league in the sense that they just underappreciated Rondo. I think Rondo is what made that work. So Rondo is a good enough floor general where he is a get the ball to Anthony Davis no matter what. I can figure out how to do it. Drew Holiday, you move over to the 2. You don't worry about anything but scoring and defense. I'll take care of everything else. And I mean, I think trying to put Elfrid Payton.
They got Julius Randle too.
Okay, trying to put Elfrid Payton into that role, Rajon Rondo's a winner. And Elfrid Payton has never won. Like,
did you watch Julius Randle though? His last few, like in LA. Did you watch his last year in LA? Did you watch him?
Julius Randle's gonna be a cool 6-man.
Like I actually think he should start.
Why? Why would I start him?
If only because him and Anthony Davis provide such a mismatch. Because
But my spacing is gone.
From the 5, though, right? From the 5 and the 4 positions, I'm not used to having. You see how much havoc Draymond Green causes as a guy who can kind of handle the ball at the 5. And Julius Randle is probably, in my opinion at least, a better ball handler and probably a better creator just for himself. Maybe not for others, but for himself off the dribble as a big man to Draymond, right? So you have 2 guys at the 4 and the 5 who really, and in all honesty, I would probably start Julius Randle. But the thing is, between the 3 of those guys with Mirotic, Randle, and Anthony Davis, you have 3 guys who the average team just isn't going to be able to match up with. And you can find a mismatch in one of those 3 guys and try to take advantage of that. I love that. Like, you can play Randle with Mirotic. You can play Davis with either one of them. So, like, I really, like, maybe that's me. Like, I still think their wing rotation is weak. I think maybe Elfrid Payton is going to be depended on to do a little bit more than he has before, and that might work out for them. It might not. But I really like, plus those 2, and I feel like Alvin Gentry is a really underrated coach, like just offensively. I feel like he gets his roster, and he knows how to put his guys in places where they can succeed. So I feel like the Pelicans aren't going to be like a top 4 seed, because my top 4 seed is probably Warriors, Rockets, Thunder, and Jazz. Those are my top 4 seeds. But I think they're going to make the playoffs. Easy, make the playoffs. And I feel like whoever they play, they're going to give them hell. Because Anthony Davis, that big man rotation, man. I love that big man rotation. Randle can create off the dribble. He can play a little defense. He can pass really well. He can finish at the rim. Anthony Davis does all of it. And then Mirotic is an absolute sniper from 3. So.
I think they're going to slaw the fuck out. And I think Anthony Davis is going to be traded before the trade deadline.
Who's he getting traded to?
I don't know, but I mean, they're going to blow it up because they're going to suck. But anyway.
I think that's my we didn't get to it before, but my hot take is the Lakers are not making the playoffs like everybody thinks they are.
The fact that you think the Thunder and the Jazz are going to have a higher seed than the Lakers is fine.
I will bet actual money on that.
Okay. My sleeper isn't, I don't have a team, but I have my boy Lance.
Lance Stevenson?
I think Lance about to be a damn fool in L.A.
Boy.
And I don't even necessarily mean on the court. Like, I just feel like every week,
he's going to be entertaining as hell.
I think Lance is going to be the most talked about player in the NBA this year. Like,
he's going to be entertaining as hell.
And I mean,
with LeBron in LA, I don't disagree with that at all.
But I think LA is going to be crazy because I think outside of maybe JaVale, in every position they are going to have a player that can do the same thing coming off the bench. And they're trying to run and turn up. Like, it's going to be fun to watch.
I don't even know how well it's going to work, but I would agree with you. I think it's going to be fun as hell to watch.
Because outside of JaVale, if you have LeBron at 1 forward, Lance is going to do the same thing for you off the bench. I mean, obviously to a lesser extent. Ingram or Kuzma, I feel like they are.
I feel like, okay, this is the way I thought about it, because I agree with you.
But, with to a lesser extent, you got Lance Stevenson for Bron, either Kuzma or Ingram or, interchangeable. Mm-hmm. Then, Lonzo complements Rondo's game. Like, I feel like they're going to switch people out. And then you can say the same thing for Josh Hart and KCP. So, I mean, I feel like they got a lot of interchangeable pieces, and they're going to be fun. But I think Lance going to be a damn fool in L.A. He's going to show his ass.
Man, okay. I just want to get this take off because I feel like I said it in the group chat and you and John didn't take me seriously. And maybe you won't because that's fair. Because on one end, bro, LeBron is the greatest basketball talent I've seen with my 2 eyes. He is amazing in every facet of the game. So him on a team makes them contenders in a sense automatically. But at the same time, right? So, okay. So I'm going to just break this down because I'm going to try to do this quickly because I know.
Wait, are you about to go on a Thunder rant?
No. Okay. Laker rant. Not really a rant, but just like, here's my thinking.
It's going to be a rant. That's fine.
So, basically, right, I love the young fit, like the young players fit with LeBron. Kuzma, Josh Hart, Lonzo, and Ingram. Ingram is that second option, kind of do it all forward. Lonzo is maybe an off-ball, on-ball kind of point guard who gives them kind of do it all himself, but not necessarily the scoring. He'll set other people up. Kuzma is just the off the bench, maybe like spark plug, and then Josh Hart is the 3-and-D guard. I love all 4 of their fits with LeBron, but dog, the Western Conference ain't no hoe. And so if any of those players, because we've seen it before, where with LeBron, even though the talent is there, the results don't necessarily show up right away. And he's never had a team this young or this untalented, if that makes sense, because as talented as I think they are, they're not Wade and Bosh, and they're not Love and Irving. You feel me? Am I making sense?
No, I mean, they're not, but I think they're the least top-heavy team he's ever had. Like, he doesn't have another star, but he has several good role players, and he's not in the situation where he has to deal with egos. Okay. The only person who could have that ego or that sense of entitlement is Rondo. And I think Rondo's more excited to play with them than anybody else.
Yeah. So I agree with everything you've said. But I feel like with young players, we often mistake talent with production. And there is a big difference between Brandon Ingram being a surprising first option who does a lot of things at an NBA level that we didn't think he could do, to being a second option to LeBron who does everything, all of those things efficiently, while LeBron is still taking up a large percent of the possessions, right? So to me, as good as that talent is, we might not see it this year. And if Brandon Ingram or Lonzo or Kuzma or Hart or maybe all 4 or maybe some of those 4 take any steps back, they might not make the playoffs. As wild as that sounds, because LeBron is LeBron. And I like Luke Walton as a coach, and I think I don't believe in their bench like that, but it's not going to be terrible. But to me, I don't believe in their defense. I think their big man rotation is going to get taken advantage of by literally every team out west. All of them. Every single one. I was thinking about this today, and I don't think there's a single big in the NBA right now, at least in the Western Conference, who sees JaVale McGee and thinks, oh, man, I don't know how I'm going to score on him.
Well, I mean, we're in a time where big men aren't really that. Like, I mean,
how many teams in the West right now have a rotational center, starting center, worse than JaVale McGee?
How many centers in the West in the league average 20 points?
I'm not talking about 20 points. I'm talking about matchups, right? Night-to-night matchups.
So matchups matter team-wise, and I think the Lakers. I think you're thinking of the Lakers in a more traditional or more, I guess on paper is, I mean, all that we can do at this point. But for what I see for them, I think they're going to push the ball a lot and force teams to play to their matchups. And I think you think it's going to be more difficult for those players. When you play with LeBron James and Rajon Rondo, who are 2 flat-out winners who make the game easier for everybody, and you have both of them on the floor and they're teaching and you have this constant culture of getting better, I think there's certain things that just fall into place. And I think the game becomes simpler for those kids. Like, they're not out there. It's not Brandon Ingram, oh, I have to worry about this double team. I have to worry about the team, scouting me and preparing for me. They're fucking afterthoughts. Like, no, the game is going to be easy for all of them because LeBron James is going to shoulder a lot of that. And they have to deal with the consequences of, like, we lost, everybody blames everybody but LeBron. But, I mean, overall, I think it's going to be a more beneficial than hurtful for them.
Oh, okay, without a doubt, beneficial. I just don't know if the benefits are going to pay off this year. That's my only question.
I think they're going to be higher seed than the Thunder.
I am willing to bet you actual money that's not the case, but fair. It's because LeBron is LeBron, honestly. But that's the only LeBron is. So if LeBron just said, "Fuck it, we're gonna get 55 wins this year," and he was just turning up all year, there's really not anything any team can do about it. I just don't see that. Cause here's my thinking on it. Right, as good as we think this team can be, the potential of this team and the actuality of this team, for instance, you were saying they're going to run, right? Do you know that no LeBron team has ever finished top 15 in pace?
I mean,
ever.
Do you think that's, so I've heard that too, but do you think that's because of LeBron or do you think that's because of LeBron's teammates?
Okay, I think it's it's always, to me, it's never just one thing. So I'm sure that both of those things play a part. But if you have LeBron on your team, are you going to not give him the ball a bunch?
Well, I mean, if you play 7 years or 6 or 7 years with Zydrunas Ilgauskas starting, I think your pace is going to be slowed the fuck down.
Even in Miami, even with Kyrie and Love and that team that's kind of
with Kyrie and Love, what team is like the only time I would think he'd be running is those few years in Miami. The rest of those teams, who's running with LeBron?
None of those teams have been top 15 in pace. I think maybe 2012 team was like 13th, but none of those teams were like, not even top like 10, top 5, not even top half of the league. Maybe LeBron does run. Maybe LeBron does buy into being like a small ball 5. Maybe, again, I could be completely wrong on this. And you know me, dog. I will say some crazy shit, but I don't mind taking L's on the crazy shit I say.
I just don't think it's ever been the intention with any of LeBron's teams. And I don't know. It's just a brand new thing, so we'll have to wait and see.
It's going to be entertaining as hell, though.
Yeah. They're going to be
actual facts.
They're going to be lived into. They're going to be fun to watch.
I can't wait. I'm excited to watch the Lakers play because I don't know what the fuck they're going to look like.
So who do we have winning it all? Warriors?
Of course.
Okay, that's fair.
Of course. Like, not even my only question, my only hot takes this year, like this whole podcast, were going to be the Lakers might fuck around and not make the playoffs, which I probably still have them in as like a 7 or 6 seed. But like I still don't think they're like, I think that's going to be a harder quest than people are giving them credit for because niggas are saying they're going to win like 55 games. I don't see that at all.
I have it about 50.
I don't see that at all. I really don't. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see it at all. But then if you're talking like my only hot takes were going to be that about the Lakers, and I think the Thunder might fuck around and get to the Western Conference Finals.
Well, I disagree with that.
If they're healthy.
But you've done like a really amazing job. For those of you who don't know, Saama's like Thunder.
I'm a stan.
Stan, fan. I don't think either one of those words really. I don't even think they do you justice.
I think fan does me justice because I be saying shit, but it's like you don't think it's realistic, but it's not that crazy.
The shit I see on my social media timelines from you liking it and sharing it. I mean, I've never
Hit
seen.
me with it.
I've just never seen anything like that in my life, sports wise. I've never like it's like the 11th man, like somebody who doesn't play, and it's like his free throw warm up routine is being shared on my timeline because you like it.
You're being a little bit.
Barely. I'm barely exaggerating. That's what's crazy.
I mean, if Jaime Diallo or whatever his name is, like if he has a good game and I retweet that, or like Deontay Burton, who's like a 2-way contract, who's not going to play, I'm retweeting it because I thought it was fun.
Why am I seeing Raymond Felton on my timeline?
Raymond Felton better not play. My team.
Yeah.
Consistent minutes. If he plays consistent minutes, that means Russ is more hurt than we thought he was.
So, well, either way, you've done an extremely excellent job of just not being extremely biased or going on any long.
That's my team, but a good year for us would be second round. If a great year would be if we upset the Rockets.
A good year would be not getting your ass kicked by the Utah Jazz.
Okay, can we just get something across here?
No, hold on. That's what I was about to get into. You've done a really good job of not tripping. So I was going to give you, a solid 2 minutes to just go ahead and get in your little Thunder bag.
So number one, can we stop disrespecting the Utah Jazz? Like, I understand, the Thunder were favored in that series because they had home court. They had more star power. That's fine. But, dog, the Utah Jazz were in the second half of the season, after the All-Star break, were the second best team in the NBA.
Ricky Rubio
is a good player.
A fucking rookie.
Who was a great player.
A car insurance salesman.
Joe Ingles has been a good player since 2016.
And Rudy Gobert.
The best defensive player in the league.
Kicked the Thunder's ass.
Their ass? Or because did they win in 6 games? And that game 6 was close.
Was game 6 where Russell Westbrook took 43 shots?
And guess what, dog? The Jazz were this close to losing that game. As terrible as those shots were, as bad as Paul George played, as bad as your boy Melo played.
As bad as Melo played.
On both ends in the series.
How much did the Thunder lose that last game by?
Like 5 points.
Didn't they have like 4 or 5 chances in one possession?
Yeah, no, and one, bro, Russ's 3 went in and out. That one, Paul George had that one where I thought he got fouled by Rudy Gobert, but they didn't call it, whatever. But then Russ had an open 3 off a rebound, and it was wide open. He took the shot, in and out. If he makes that shot, it's a tie game with like 10 seconds left. So, I am a huge Thunder stan, but can we please put some respect on the Jazz's name? Because they ended the year, right? Okay, so I'm just going to throw a bunch of numbers out here.
I want everyone to know that there are no notes in front of Saama right now.
No, I at all. So the Jazz ended the year 22-6 or 6. Yeah, the last 28 games. They destroyed the Warriors twice. And then outside of that, they were 20-8 to end the year. When Rudy Gobert came back, they were the best defense in the league by far. Quinn Snyder's one of the best coaches in the NBA. He's top 5 in my opinion. Donovan Mitchell had one of the most impactful rookie seasons of all time. And then you have a bunch of good role players, right? Rudy Gobert. No, not even Rudy Gobert, because Rudy Gobert is a star in his role, in my opinion. He does his job as well as anybody in the league. So Ricky Rubio is a good player. Joe Ingles is a good player. Jay Crowder's a good player. What's his face? Derek Favors, good player, right? And they just have a bunch of guys who know their role and just play well, and they pass the ball really, really well. So, and then the wins matter as far as like anticipating how good a team is going to be in the playoffs. But SRS, which is basically strength of schedule, and net rating matter even more. And the Jazz were number 5 in net rating and number 6 in SRS in the entire league. And that was after starting. They didn't have a great start, and then Rudy Gobert got hurt. But after Gobert came back, they were the second best team in the league from that point on. The only team that was better was the team that beat them in the playoffs was the Rockets. They were a good-ass team. The Thunder lost in the first round, absolutely. But they lost to a good-ass team. A really good team, possibly a top 5 team in the whole league. Not just the West, but the whole league. So I again, if to me, as a Thunder fan, it's show and prove. You got Paul George now. You got Steven Adams still there. Russ is still there. You got Dennis Schroeder. You signed Jeremy Grant. Patrick Patterson's still there. Billy Donovan's still there. Show and prove. It's either win games or shut the fuck up to me. But that's still my team. And I feel like that's my only hot take of the entire night after the Lakers shit, right? So if Andre Robertson is healthy to start the playoffs, the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to the Western Conference Finals.
There was certainly a lot of bullshit in there, but
they're going to beat the Rockets in 6 games. Out of respect
to your, fairness throughout the podcast, I just let you live. But for drink of the day, for the drink rating, I also have to shit on you a little bit.
That's
just
fine.
to deter the future. I just need a little bit more creativity.
I was gonna do Crown and Lemonade, but I didn't know if you was ready. For that.
That's still not a little more creativity.
It was gonna be Crown regardless, just because like I'm a troll.
Oh, you think
nature.
I'm gonna Crown?
Yeah, no, we're gonna get you there.
That's not gonna happen. For the drink rating, I'm gonna have to give you a 6 just because of the
I'm cool with the 6.
lack of creativity. But it is something I would drink like in my day to day, like turn up. So I'm not gonna like trash it, but I'm only gonna be able to give it a 6. Do want to thank you for coming through and helping me get through the sports podcast. I tried to mix in some other stuff, but it got bad. We definitely had some deep dives and stuff.
Facts.
But I'm sure everybody will still enjoy it. And thank you for coming through.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I really like. I've listened to. I'm not on Apple Music. I'm not on Apple Music at all. But I really like the episodes that I've listened to. I've really enjoyed it. So I'm on this episode, but I'm gonna continue to listen to all the other ones.
That's how I know you're really like. You're not really for fake about this Android life. You are really down. So on Apple, we have an Apple Podcast app that is completely separate from Apple Music. But I mean, it's not a big deal. You are really true to this Android life.
You know what's so funny to me? I'm really not. I'm here now. So that's what I'm doing. But like my next phone very well might be an iPhone.
I think that's the best move.
I'm gonna see about it, bro. Because like niggas be talking to me about it, about like how great it is.
You're single-handedly ruining our group message.
Facts.
Like, you know how annoying it is for some to see like such and such laughed at the message instead of it. You don't even know what. Do you even know what it normally does?
I know it from my end. Yeah.
No, I mean, like, so if it was an iMessage, have you seen like what is supposed to happen? What people are trying to do?
No.
I'll show you after the show.
Okay.
Thank you to the listeners for tuning in. Please continue to like, rate, review, share, and everything else. You can follow us on all social media pages @_me and the homies. Please submit any questions or any discussion topics, birthday shout outs, and everything else. You can also email us anything if you feel like you have something a little longer, you feel more comfortable emailing it to us. You can email us at meandthehomiespodcast@gmail.com. Did you have any birthday shout outs, Saama?
Mine in a month.
I was gonna say your birthday's in November.
Yeah, my birthday's in November, but it's not like I don't know anybody with like October birthdays. But shout out my friend Deanna. She's a Scorpio too. My mom also, she's a Sag, but like she's like a week after mine. So I don't know anybody in this month, but it counts.
We'll also be sure to shout you out a little closer to your birthday. But for this week, I'm gonna shout out Steph, Isaiah, Andrew, Cornell, Jackson. You know Jackson.
Yeah, I know Jack.
Mike Horde.
Go Wildcats.
Jamal, and a special shout out to the homie Dokes. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all for listening.
Happy birthday, homie. For me? Yeah. Happy birthday, homeboy. For me? Yeah. Make a wish.